Hi, welcome to the Small Shed. This Saturday I'm continuing the birthday theme of the weekend and we're making some bits for my grandson's birthday party. See you in a minute. Now, moving on from my birthday that was I was showing you some bits and pieces of yesterday. My grandson has his birthday, his third birthday, about 2 or 3 weeks after mine, and this year my daughter asked me if I'd make some cardboard boxes for her with letters on with his name, so that when he had his party in the village hall they could have these stacked up. And the requirement was for have Henry, his name, Henry, 5 boxes. She showed me a picture that she got off Instagram or somewhere that showed what she wanted, and these were about 1 foot high boxes that came up, and it stacked up to a 5 or 6 foot high stack when you finish it, which looks reasonably impressive on the way in. I'm going to use some bits and materials that I've got from the local recycling resource centre, so I don't think the whole thing will cost more than, you know, £5 or £10, but this is just how I've gone about doing it. Now, I've picked up the sheets of cardboard for, I think they're 20p a piece, and they're about 6 foot by 3, so they're well worth the money. And I've just been, it's quite thick double wall corrugated. That will tend to bend one way reasonably well for a box. Those will each have on a letter. I've downloaded some letters from the internet that are the sort of thing I want. I want them slightly bigger than that if they're going to be on a foot high package or parcel. So then that's 9 inches those are, so they're going to need to be about, loosely speaking, 50% bigger than that. The Toy Story letters tend to be yellow with a blue surround. Now again, at the scrap store I'd picked up some sheets of blue plastic that is about 4mm thick, 3 or 4mm thick. It's like a foam core, but it's all in plastic. I'll do a letter in that, and then I'll do a yellow in card of some sort that will stick on it to give the blue surround, and that'll save an awful lot of work in masking and painting out. So that's the job for the day. Make a start and we'll get the numbers marked out on the plastic, cut out on the bandsaw. The letters scaling up was a fairly straightforward job to do. I just basically put a grid on the letters and multiplied it by, I think it was 1.5 times, and transferred that onto the plastic sheet with pencil. It made it easy enough to be able to see. And then once that was done, I split them into the 3 individual letters out of each sheet and took them over to the bandsaw. The bandsaw was cut through them like a knife through butter, really. It was very easy stuff to cut. Complete pain to have to clean the inside of the bandsaw out afterwards, mind you. And it was also reaching the limits of the throat on the bandsaw as well with some of the letters. So again, I've just about reached the limit on what that can achieve with that small one. But it produces a nice easy cut, and that was simple enough to do all of the outside cuts that were needed. That left me with one problem, which was the letter R, which had got a piece in the middle that was missing, that needed to be missing, and the option was to get the scroll saw out or have a go with a knife. and in the end I decided to try and score it, and found it cut remarkably easily as well with a knife. Just took a sharp knife and a straight edge and cut the straight parts of all the lines, and then carefully did the round corners by hand. A couple of passes with the knife and it soon just clipped out. Again, very easy to do, easy to cut, and quite easy to clean up by just scraping a knife over the sharp edge. Now, I've just been down the resource scrap store place that we go to, and I was going to use card to fill in the yellow bits in the middle, but I've actually found some self-adhesive vinyl which is ideal for the job. So what I'm going to do is put vinyl on over the whole of the sheet, whole of the letter, sorry, and then I'll just cut away with the craft knife from the edges inwards to give me the blue border. Now, this isn't the accepted way of attaching vinyl to anything. The sign makers use warm soapy water, just take the suds off the top, smear over the base that you're putting the vinyl onto. It enables it to be lifted and laid back more easily, and you can then just with a squeegee just squeeze the letters down properly, and it makes a very good finish with no air bubbles in it. Now, having cut the letters out, I'm going to put them on something to support them. The idea was to get some cardboard boxes about 30 centimetres square. I looked those up, they were reasonably expensive, and then I found sheets of cardboard in the local scrap store for 20p a piece, so I decided that it would be easiest to make my own. So I'm just cutting out 1 foot through 30 centimetre squares of card, stick those together, and then when that's done we can cover them in wrapping paper or something and stick the letters on, and that will give us the little tower that we want to put the name and the birthday on that. So we're just going to cut those out with the craft knife. I've already done 1 or 2. Be careful with the craft knife, particularly if you're using it with a thin ruler that you could slip across and cut the end off your finger, because it makes a mess of the cardboard. I've just cut 36 squares out. I've taken them together with masking tape at the moment. As I said before, they will be covered up with some sort of wrapping paper anyway, I think. Just to make it more solid, I'm just running a bead of glue around the inside of the joints, so that once that's bitten, the masking tape won't be doing anything. I'll do 5 sides, let that dry, put the last one on, which I won't be able to glue quite so easily, and we will then have the boxes. Now, I've glued up all the insides of the boxes with 5 sides on them. Run a bead of glue around the inside just to stiffen it up, so that's now pretty solid. Just going to do the 6th side, which is always going to be a bit more difficult. Just going to run a bead of glue around the top, and then I'll just tape the lid down and probably just turn it upside down then, so that the glue tends to naturally drop into the void. So that, got a lid with 2 sides taped up ready, and just pop those on top. And there we have it. That's a box that's cost about 10p plus a little bit of glue and some tape, so certainly a lot cheaper than the ones that I was going to buy, and they didn't take that long to do. Next problem is to find somewhere to put the damn things. Right, now the boxes have all dried and I've just got to make them look a bit more like parcels. So I'm just going to wrap them in some cheap birthday paper. Just get it roughly the right length, cut them to size. That's it. Now, to attach the letters to the parcel, I'm just going to put a bit of double-sided tape on them. They're not particularly heavy, but of course they're being glued to a piece of thin wrapping paper that isn't actually attached to the box. So I'm hoping this will suffice. Reasonable level of adhesion, I would guess. Just getting to the point now where by the time I put the boxes in here, and I've got these caricatures to go in as well, but there's once again almost no room in the shed. So the sooner these are out the way the better. Just take the letter then, centre it roughly in the middle of the panel. Just press it down firmly. And there we are. And that's the idea, these things will stack one on top of another with the name. And by the time you've got 6 of them, it's going to be 6 foot high, so should be fairly imposing. Well, I hope that was of interest. Not really much use to anybody unless they specifically want to go and decorate a church hall with large boxes, but next week I'll be doing some large cut-out figures in card to decorate the place, because they're not allowed to stick things up on the walls or anything. So hopefully that'll be of interest. I'll look forward to seeing you then. See you. Bye.